Sup, my name is Rui for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council. Welcome to Card vs. Card, your monthly throwdown of debates. Which cards are better? Just watch the video if you don't completely understand that. Last month it was supposed to be released in November because these come from the October's comment section. But thanks to Thanksgiving and a few projects, other channels and whatnot that we've been working on and cooking for you, we had to delay this. You can also thank the live stream because the live streams took around 8 days to get everything done over there. We're still not done over there setting everything up, so we kind of just wing it. So it's good to have Card vs. Card back, which means next week is Guide to Your Side, the second one, and then the week after is Pack vs. Pack. So shit's gonna hit the fan. We're doing good, man. We're doing good. Anyway, here we go. First of all, let me just quickly say, everyone who wrote in October, thank you. I have your comments in front of me, and I will be shouting you out while also talking about the cards. So let's do this. Our first and foremost thing will come from Screencasters. Judgment Dragon versus Graffa. Now, you did send in 3 of them, so I will be going down all 3, but I'm going to space them out during this video. So, Judgment Dragon versus Graffa. The light versus the dark. The dark side. That's kind of the idea here. Not just what card's better, because they would sound funny. Hey, they're the king of their light and the king of their dark. Because, to be fair, Chaos Emperor Dragon really doesn't really count because he doesn't have a light counterpart. Flame War! Anyways, Judgment Dragon versus Graffa. Judgment Dragon is thrown in Light Sworns and requires 4 Light Sworns. And then you blow up your opponent and you scream, "You suck, you piece of shit!" Graffa, on the other hand, can only destroy 1 card using Dark Worlds and has a Searcher directly for it. Now, Judgment Dragon does have a Searcher for it in the form of a trap card, and it's pretty sacky because the whole damn deck is sacky, but I goddamn love Light Swarm because it's sacky. But when it comes down to it, we're not talking about sack, we're talking about which of the 2 is better. And of course, which one's going to butter your bread with that extra salt addition is going to be Judgment Dragon. Let's be honest here. When was the last time anyone really got pissed at Graffa? When was really the last time? Yeah, I can't really think of it. Judgment Dragon, on the other hand, you go in Dev Pro, you play him enough, you get cursed out in Dev Pro. Judgment Dragon definitely is the better card because it nukes the whole damn field. It goes, "Sup, bitches!" and it blows it all up. While Graffa can only pop 1. Now, there's nothing wrong with only popping 1, but you see, Judgment Dragon can do it every turn. Graffa has to be sent from the hand to the grave, and then it can miss timing with certain cards, so you can't just discard it. And it's so picky, because he's Graffa, I need my nails painted first to be done right, the dragon. So, Judgment Dragon definitely for the win. Okay, now it's time to get a little more serious. King of Krios, Brandon Roberts, thank you for writing in for Blackluster Soldier versus Chaos Emperor Dragon, the granddaddy of the Chaos eras. First, I'm going to run down, actually you can do this 2 separate ways. We're going to run down the original granddaddy of Chaos Emperor Dragon, and talk about last year's errata, which it received, and why the hell it's not off the ban list, I don't fucking know. But hey, so BLS and Chaos Emperor Dragon were 2 of the most defining cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! History. Everyone likes to kind of say that they are the reason we have power creep today. Yay! Oh wait, no, we're not supposed to get power creep. Blackluster Soldier can attack twice if it destroys a monster by battle, and it got a new friend in Light of Destruction named Honest that can give it even more attack power. You see what's wrong here? I do. And it also has the other effect where if you don't attack, you can just bash a card on the field, your opponent's monsters. Not their back row. Because I have a bad way of phrasing things. You can bash out their monsters from the field, and they can't do squat about it. RIP. Chaos Emperor Dragon's original text reads, "Cannot be normal summon or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by banishing 1 light and 1 dark monster from your graveyard." This is actually from the Kaiba pack, so it's close to original. By banishing 1 light, 1 dark, you can pay 1,000 light points, send all cards in both players' hands and on the field to the graveyard, and inflict 300 to your opponent for each card sent to the graveyard by this effect. Had this been the original text about a year ago, about a little over a year ago from now, a little under a year ago from now, then Chaos Emperor Dragon probably would stand a better test of time, but its new text reads, cannot be normal summoner set, must be special summon from your hand by banishing one light, one dark. That seems all normal, right? Yeah, to a point. During the turn you activate this card's effect, you cannot activate other effects. Meaning the original Witch of the Black Forest Yatagarasu you can no longer do because you cannot activate their effects. You can only activate Chaos Emperor Dragon's effect. Once per turn, you can pay 1,000 light points, send all cards on the field in both players' hands to the graveyard, and still do the 300 burn for each card sent. This also stops a fun loop that would have been a thing if he was ever to return to the TCG, which he did in the OCG, and he's at 3. With Chaos Dragons, where you would be able to use Light Pulse or Dragon, blow up the whole damn board, get a Red Eyes, and then if Witch was still a thing, well, you get Yatagarasu on top of that and just shit all over your opponent. That's no longer a thing because you can't activate nothing afterwards. Now, not to say that Chaos Emperor Dragon doesn't stand the test of time. The original form was powerful, and you could make the argument you could just bring out a Black Rose Dragon by today's standards with the Witch of the Black Forest, because bitch doesn't need fucking be blown up. She just needs to get sent to the graveyard, get the Yatagarasu, blow up your opponent's board, play double summon if you had to, and then freaking drop Yata and get the same result. Which is absolutely true, but if your opponent still had a hand, then that's a problem. Chaos Emperor Dragon, on the other hand, obviously the loop was combo wombo was a little bit better than that. But when it comes down to it, it comes down to the two cards. Does Blackluster Soldier stand the test of time better, or does Chaos Emperor Dragon stand the test of time better? In all honesty, I'm going to say Blackluster Soldier gets the win because of its interactions with Honest, and it stands the test of time even through erratas, even through power creeps. Blackluster Soldier still the better of the two cards. You can care or disagree down in the comments and tell me your thoughts. Moving on. We have Jason Bruno, Raigeki versus Harpy's Feather Duster. Thank you for the request, my friend. And let me phrase it this way. One takes out monsters, one takes out complete back row. If this was back in the day when Yu-Gi-Oh! Was still fresh, when Yu-Gi-Oh! Was still a thing, probably even when Monarchs, Perfect Circle Monarchs was a thing, I would tell you every time Raigeki. Because we weren't in a situation where back row was so crucial compared to nowadays. Back row pendulums are more crucial than ever. Harpy's Feather Duster has only gained power while Raigeki has kind of dropped a little bit in power. Not saying Raigeki's a bad card by any stretch of the imagination, but when it comes down to these two powerful cards, Harpy's Feather Duster definitely sweeps away the win in its sleep because of the fact that taking out back row is a lot better than taking out monsters nowadays. Because when it comes down to it, especially with pendulums being a thing, Harpy's Feather Duster gets more work done. Because you could play it, do your pendulum summon, get free damage onto the board, and don't have to worry about making your plays. You can make them safely. With Raigeki, you only take out your opponent's monster and can set up for an OTK, but if they have good back row, you're screwed! That's kind of the thing that you have to play around with. Back to Screencasters. For request number 4. Utopia versus Stardust, the anime battle of animes, the rarity of rarities, the king of kings. I guess the way to phrase it if this was Neos versus Dark Magician, which we all know Dark Magician totally wins. Totally wins. Anyway, Utopia versus Stardust. One negates attacks and has 30 freaking style point forms, while Stardust, on the other hand, only has like 5 or 8 forms. And, well, it just negates destruction. It's kind of a thing. Utopia wished she was as cool as Stardust Dragon. We all know that much to be true. Just saying. In all seriousness, when it comes down to it, we're going to pit the original Utopia with no upgrades versus the Stardust with no upgrades. So, it comes down to what they do at their best. Utopia, at best, can negate 2 attacks and then dies. Stardust, at best, can constantly negate destruction effects turn after turn. And there's probably some kind of meme in there that goes turn after turn. But when it comes down to it, Stardust is definitely getting the win here because Stardust is 10 times better than Utopia. I'm sorry if I offended anyone who is a fan of Zexal. But when it comes down to it, in terms of playability, in terms of, just everything, without upgrades, we're just talking, if you want upgrades, it's going to be a totally separate thing. Stardust Dragon's definitely going to take away the win, only because it can constantly negate stuff out. Moving on. Yu-Gi-Oh! Patches. Thank you for the request of Effect Veiler versus Ghost Ogre. I feel this one, even though I already know my answer, will be a debate for the times of the times. Ghost Ogre can can destroy stuff, while Effect Veiler negates monster effects. When it comes down to it, Ghost Ogre can pop stuff, but Effect Veiler does nullify it. Now, they're both tuners. One's level 3 and the Psychic can be used on the field, and one is just a wonderful spellcaster who people are still to this day trying to figure out if it's a he or it's a she. It's a she. Look at the shoes. Those are some girly ass shoes. I'm just saying, those are some girly ass shoes. All jokes aside, Effect Veiler is getting my win here, but I don't know about you guys, so I'm going to leave it to the debate. Be the debate team in the comment section. Ghost Ogre or Effect Veiler. I want to hear it. I want to know, with a request too. But I'm going to give it to Effect Veiler because I feel Effect Veiler is still better than Ghost Ogre. I don't know. That's just me being me. It still feels like over time Effect Veiler will stay relevant forever. Well, Ghost Ogre, I'm not going to say it won't stay relevant, but it won't be as powerful as time goes on, per se. I guess that's the way I want to phrase it. Okay. Omnicon. Dad versus Lightray Diabolos. Dark Arm Dragon versus Lightray Diabolos. One requires 3 darks and only 3 darks. One requires 5 lights. Doesn't give a shit if there's more in there. But when it comes down to it, one's level 7 and one's level 7. One's light, one's dark. I think you can see the parallels here and why he probably wanted me to do this battle. Lightray Diabolos is hilarious in Lightsworn, and it was a key part of Dragonsworn. I always forget the name nowadays because it's so long ago and gone. But when it comes down to it, Dark Arm Dragon has been a crucial part within many decks, within many meta decks. While when the big dragons got banned, everyone started moving to Clownblade. Lightray Diabolos fell out of popularity, as where Dark Arm Dragon is still used to this day, even more in rogue decks than anything. I haven't really seen the Lightray deck in quite a while, or anything using Lightray Diabolos. He kind of just fell out of flavor. When it comes down to which of these 2 cards is better, I would always give it to Dark Arm Dragon, because Dark Arm Dragon is just dumb as hell if he's in multiples. While Lightray Diabolos is powerful, don't get me wrong, Dark Arm Dragon can constantly use his effect. As long as there's fuel in the graveyard, he don't give a shit, and he can set up for his brother from another mother called Dark Arm Dragon number 2 if there was a Dark Arm number Dragon 2 in the format. So keep that in mind. It's a scary ass card. Our last request from Screencasters is Thunder King Ryo versus Mistake. I almost couldn't read my own notes. So Thunder King Ryo versus Mistake. One's chainable and MSTable, while one's a monster and Raigekiable. Now you see what goes on there? You can play Dark Hole, you can play Raigeki, you can play Torrential, you can play Bottomless. That all takes out Thunder King. Mistake, MST, Twin Twister, Dust Tornado, Magician Pendulum Effect that can pop it, or about 30 other cards. Both of these are very vulnerable to poppage. So it comes down to which of these is better, though. Thunder King Ryo has a secondary effect where it can do what Stardust Warrior does. It can negate special summons that are not a certain way, and, well, it gets kind of dumb. When it comes down to these 2, I'm going to give you the answer right away. Thunder King Ryo, hands down, no question about it. That secondary effect, that 1900 beat stick, that honest to bull 6 son of a bitch that I wish was at 2, but he's not. Such a fun card that we could play in Chaos Dragons if he was at 2. It'd be fun as hell to play. Well, he's an option. Not completely that you need to, but he's a fun option. So Thunder King Ryo gets the win over Mistake. We only have 2 battles left. I'm kind of sad that we're almost done here. Wolf Kun, Heartland Draco versus Gagaga Cowboy. One can attack directly for 2,000. One can boost himself up to 2,500, lower your opponent's monster by 5, and if he's in defense mode, he burns you for 800. I think most of you know his burn effect by now. Most Yu-Gi-Oh players have felt the burn. They need the burn heal from Pokemon and you spray it on. Anyways, when it comes down to it, it's which of these 2 rank 4s is more worth it. Is it Gagaga Cowboy? Is it Heartland Draco? When it comes down to this, when you only have so much space in your extra deck, everyone goes for Gagaga Cowboy because it's not only for its burn effect, it's for its attacking effect, and that's what gives it the overall better usage over something like Heartland Draco. Now, I personally love Heartland Draco because if there's a continuous spell card face up on the board, then your ass ain't attacking my Heartland Draco and I'm punching you for 4,000. But when it comes down to it, in all seriousness, in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh!, Gagaga Cowboy gets the win every single time for just being a little bit better. Just a little bit. Our final battle this month comes from Dominic Majors, Scrap Dragon versus Yazi. To be fair, Yazi can only use his secondary effect for poppage for the most usage out of it in Ging Zing. While Scrap Dragon can use it everywhere. They both can pop stuff. One's got, nullify anything that tries to touch me. Can't touch me, bitch. And the other one, well, pops one card in the field and pops one other side. On the other side. So, Scrap Dragon definitely has got its ways, and so does Yazi. When it comes down to it, I'm going to give it to Scrap Dragon. So, thank you all for sending in your requests. That's King of Creos, Brandon Roberts, Jason Bruno, Yu-Gi-Oh! Patches, YGO Patches, actually, Screencasters, Omnicon, Wolfcon, and Dominic Majors. If I said any of your names wrong, I am sorry as fuck for that. I have that habit. Anyway, thank you guys for watching Card vs. Card. If you would like to be on the next Card vs. Card or send a request and be my guest, do it down in the comments below. I'll be reading through them. As I'm reading through them, I'm going to be preparing subscriber showcase for all of you. Wow, surprises. Because you stayed for the video, you get the surprises. Anyway, I'll see you on the next one.